I'm coming. If you hand over to government to maintain, the budget the money and share it.
To live in that particular place that the house is. So it's supposed government will be compensate them so that and pay them and relocate them to where they are going and build another house for them.
Careful engineering and management to meet human needs. As we approach the rainy season in full, we need to know some ways we can prevent our properties from being flooded and also know how to stay healthy even when there is no rain and during the rainy season. As we know, we generate waste on a daily basis. We need to channel this waste from our buildings safely and wisely. Welcome to another episode of Property Doctor, the show that brings to property owners and property users the easiest remedies to beautify your homes, to maintain your homes, to manage your homes, and help you save money. On this episode, we will be discussing drainage systems. Drainage systems include all pipings within the property that conveys sewage, rainwater, surface water, and other liquid waste to a point of disposal and to dispose them safely. The main objective of a drainage system is to collect and remove waste matter systematically to maintain healthy conditions in our properties, in our buildings, and to make us safe. There are different types of drainage systems in our residential areas, but I'll be talking about just 4 of them on the surface. The first one is the surface drainage system. Surface drainage system contains shallow ditches dug in a parallel pattern, which act as canals for runoff water and for surface water. These ditches lead water into the main drain to avoid water from pooling in the environment or flooding in the environment so that you don't have so much water inside the building. There's also something called the subsurface drainage system. A subsurface drainage system is also known as a French drain. Subsurface drains are placed beneath the top layer of the soil to remove excess water at the root level, so that you can remove water that is on the surface level, but you're taking it from the ground, from inside the ground. So subsurface drains require the digging of deep ditches and the installation of ground pipes. Underground pipes, a large collector drain is installed to collect all this water together, maybe having something like inspection chamber. You have them all collected together and you can now drain them entirely from the building. There is also something called a slope drainage system. The slope drains allow water to flow downwards from a structure with the aid of pipe moving down in a slope. It is in a slanted position. A pipe is installed and anchored into a small incline, which causes water to flow through the pipe and away from the structure. So the next one we'll be talking about is the downspout and gutter system. A downspout collects water from gutters and divert it to the ground. A downspout is typically connected to a gutter system on a building and carries water away from the roof to the ground. The downspout emptied out the water on the slope so that the water does not pool on the base of this downspout, so that you don't have water everywhere around the building. So it gathers the water together and brings them down to the building and drains it out. There are advantages or benefits of having a good drainage system in our homes. Let me take these ones for instance. When you have a good drainage system in your homes, it prevents the accumulation of water. Important aspect of a decent drainage system is that it enables the water to flow freely and on most occasions does not allow the water to accumulate, which can result to eventual flooding of the outside, and sometimes it can even get inside the building. You can watch our video on indoor flooding. It can give you ideas or tips on how to manage indoor flooding. But right now we are looking at the outdoor flooding. So another advantage of having a good drainage system is that it minimizes soil erosion from taking place. You know, good drainage system reduces soil erosion. Accumulated water or stagnant water can make the soil muddy, and it can also result in soil degradation after some time. That means it brings down the value or the strength of the soil, and this can lead to a muddy floor surface, which subsequently will lead to soil erosion, because when the soil is now losing its strength or its value, excess water will start moving out the topsoil of the ground, and that means your topsoil will no longer be protected. This will likewise aid in maintaining a balance of the moisture on the ground as well if you have a good drainage system. Another thing we'll be talking about is that when you have a good drainage system in your home, it encourages or it ensures a wholesome living if effectively managed properly. The regular maintenance of the drainage system is very important, as it will continuously waive any possible blockage that may be caused by eroded sediment or waste that has not been disposed of properly from the building. I hope you're learning something from this particular episode this morning. Now let's go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue our discussion on drainage system in our homes. After the break, we'll learn how to keep the drainage system to function at its maximum level to give you a good benefit. But before we go, Property Doctor has some products that will be very helpful to your staying healthy. We have the PD soap, the PD bleach, we have the PD disinfectant, we also have the PD emulsion paint and satin paint, we have the PD air freshener, and so many PD products. So please stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. If you're just joining us for the first time, you're watching Property Doctor. On this episode, we are discussing about the drainage system in our homes and our properties. But before the break, I spoke on the types of drainage systems in our homes and their properties. I also told you the advantages of having a good drainage system in our homes. But when you don't have a good drainage system in your homes, it can lead to unstable foundation in your homes. It is possible for water to flow to the lowest possible portion of the residence, which happens to be your foundation. You know, you cannot control the movement of water if you don't have a good drainage system in your home. So when you don't have a good drainage system, the water can flow directly to the foundation of your home in case the drainage is not adequate. And this might lead to the creation of cracks in the foundation, which is very, very serious. And these cracks or fractures in the house might even lead to the collapse of the building on the long run. So another thing we'll be looking at is that when you don't have a good drainage system, termites can be brought into the home, because inappropriate drainage system can be responsible for the development of termites, which happens to be drawn to the moisture that might have been accumulated in the house foundation. You'll be wondering how, but when there's water there, it attracts termites to come to the building, and it can result in a more significant issue such as a structural complication if we don't pay heed to it on time or if you don't do something promptly. Another thing we'll be looking at is excessive dampness, which can result in the growth of mold. Excessive dampness in the basement or in your building can lead to the formation of moisture, which can result to dampness because of inadequate drainage. And this leads to the development of mold in the building. Mold can develop because there's flood that has stayed in that particular area for some time and remain undetected for extended period. You know, it can start affecting the building. It can affect the paint. It can affect the exterior decoration of the building, and sometimes can even start going inside the building. So let's look at how to keep drainage system to function at its maximum level in our buildings. So the first thing we have to always make sure we do is to dispose all waste materials properly, because if you don't dispose waste materials properly, they might block the channels to which water can be drained out of the building. So if you have pipes, make sure that the pipes are not blocked and that it's flowing truly and the water does not accumulate inside the pipe. And also, if you're laying pipes, make sure you lay the pipes in such a way that there's an inclination. It can go in a particular direction, can flow out on its own, not that the water will remain inside the pipe when you have laid it down. I'm sure your plumber will be able to give you advice on how to lay the pipes properly. Now, cover your waste bins so that the materials cannot be moved to the drainage system. Now, check the drainage system for maintenance regularly. Check and inspect your pipes, the vents, as well as your drain lines, so that you can prevent plumbing problems in the future. If you keep checking for maintenance, you'll be able to save money and you prevent problems in the drainage system. A drainage system is accountable for getting rid of surplus water either on the floor surface or on the root area of any property. Remember, I told you this before, and it is good you maintain your drainage system properly. It is imperative to drain the water in the building, because if you don't do that, it might lead to flooding, it might lead to filthy smell because stagnant water smells, and the slow draining can also affect the building because the water is not really moving properly, and also it can lead to damage because sometimes some portions of the buildings can be damaged because the water has remained so long on it, maybe like your concrete, your block, and even the wooden material. So to our viewers, I want to thank you for joining us on this episode of Property Doctor. I hope you have learned something today. Please make sure you take care of your drainage system in your homes and around you, especially during this raining season. Remember, if knowledge is not put to use or put to practice, it does not benefit anyone. Join me next week for another interesting and educative and informative episode of Property Doctor. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, kindly do so on the link below, and don't forget to press the notification button so that you can get alert of our videos as soon as they come up. Also follow us on Facebook and on Instagram at Property Doctor NG, and on Twitter at Property Doc NG. And make sure you join us next week. Have a beautiful week ahead, and bye.
I'm coming. If you hand over to government to maintain, they budget the money and share it.
To live in that particular place that the house is. So it's supposed government will compensate them so that and pay them and relocate them to where they are going and build another house for them.
Careful engineering and management to meet human needs.